Summary of Chapter 9 of You Become What You Think. Chapter 9 of You Become What You Think focuses on inner peace, happiness, and the true meaning of success. In the earlier chapters, the author discusses thoughts, discipline, self-confidence, relationships, growth, and perseverance. In this chapter, the discussion becomes more reflective and emotional. The author explains that many people spend their entire lives chasing external success, but still remain mentally restless and emotionally unhappy. The chapter teaches that real success is not only about money, status, fame, or achievement, but also about peace of mind, emotional balance, meaningful relationships, gratitude, and inner fulfillment. The central message of Chapter 9 is true happiness comes from inner peace, gratitude, balanced thinking, and meaningful living, not only from external achievement. The author encourages readers to build a life that is successful both externally and internally. One. Many people chase success but remain unhappy. The chapter begins by explaining that modern society often defines success only through material achievement. People are taught to constantly chase money, recognition, luxury, social status, and comparison-based success. However, the author explains that many individuals who achieve external success still experience stress, emptiness, loneliness, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. The chapter teaches that external success alone cannot guarantee happiness if the mind remains disturbed. Inner peace is equally important too. Happiness begins in the mind. One of the major lessons in the chapter is that happiness is deeply connected to thinking patterns. The author explains that some people remain grateful and peaceful even with limited resources, while others remain dissatisfied despite having abundance. This happens because happiness depends largely on mindset. Negative thinking creates dissatisfaction, frustration, jealousy, and emotional exhaustion. Positive thinking creates appreciation, peace, hope, and emotional stability. The chapter teaches that happiness is not only based on external conditions but also on mental attitude. 3. Constant comparison creates misery. The chapter strongly discusses comparison again, especially in relation to happiness. Many people compare salaries, lifestyle, appearance, relationships, achievements, and social image. The author explains that comparison creates endless dissatisfaction because there will always be someone with more money, more success, or more recognition. The chapter teaches that people lose peace when they base self-worth entirely on comparison. True happiness grows when people appreciate their own journey instead of constantly competing with others. 4. Gratitude changes emotional energy. A major section of the chapter focuses on gratitude. The author explains that grateful people usually experience more emotional peace because they focus on what they already have rather than constantly focusing on what is missing. Gratitude helps people appreciate family, health, opportunities, friendships, personal progress, and daily blessings. Without gratitude, even success feels incomplete. The chapter encourages readers to practice daily appreciation instead of constant complaint. Gratitude transforms perspective. 5. Simplicity brings peace. The chapter discusses the value of simplicity. Modern life often becomes mentally exhausting because people constantly chase more possessions, more attention, more validation, and endless desires. The author explains that simplicity creates mental clarity and peace. Simple living includes valuing meaningful relationships, reducing unnecessary stress, avoiding excessive greed, and focusing on what truly matters. The chapter teaches that peace often increases when life becomes less complicated mentally and emotionally. 6. Overthinking destroys happiness. Another important topic is overthinking. The author explains that many people lose present happiness because they constantly worry about the future, past mistakes, public opinion, failure, or imagined problems. Overthinking creates anxiety, emotional exhaustion, confusion, and stress. The chapter encourages readers to live more consciously in the present moment, focus on what can be controlled, and stop creating unnecessary mental suffering. Peace increases when the mind becomes calmer. 7. Emotional balance is true strength. The chapter strongly emphasizes emotional balance. Life contains success and failure, praise and criticism, happiness and sadness. The author explains that emotionally mature people do not become completely controlled by temporary situations. Inner strength means staying calm during stress, remaining humble during success, and remaining hopeful during difficulty. The chapter teaches that emotional balance creates stability and wiser decision-making. 8. Relationships matter more than material success. A major lesson in Chapter 9 is the importance of relationships. The author explains that many people become so focused on career, money, and achievement that they neglect family, friendships, love, and emotional connection. However, meaningful relationships are one of the greatest sources of happiness. People feel emotionally stronger when they experience support, trust, understanding, and companionship. The chapter encourages readers to value relationships more deeply instead of sacrificing emotional life completely for external success. 9. Peace comes from self-acceptance. The chapter discusses self-acceptance. Many people remain emotionally disturbed because they constantly criticize themselves. They focus excessively on flaws, failures, insecurities, or imperfections. The author explains that self-improvement is important, but self-hatred is harmful. Healthy growth requires accepting imperfections, learning from mistakes, and respecting oneself while improving gradually. The chapter teaches that peace grows when people stop fighting themselves internally all the time. 10. Let go of unnecessary negativity. Another important topic is emotional negativity. The author explains that holding on to resentment, jealousy, anger, guilt, or bitterness creates mental heaviness. Negative emotions consume emotional energy and disturb peace of mind. The chapter encourages readers to forgive wisely, release unnecessary emotional burdens, and avoid carrying negativity for years. Mental freedom increases when emotional baggage decreases. 11. Success without peace is incomplete. The chapter repeatedly emphasizes that success without peace is incomplete. A person may achieve wealth, fame, or professional success, but still feel emotionally empty. The author explains that true success includes mental peace, good health, emotional balance, meaningful relationships, and self-respect. A balanced life is more fulfilling than endless external achievement without inner happiness. 12. Presence matters more than constant pressure. The chapter teaches the importance of being present. Many people spend life regretting the past or fearing the future. As a result, they miss the beauty of the present moment. The author encourages readers to appreciate small experiences, enjoy conversations, notice personal progress, and remain mentally present in daily life. Peace increases when attention returns to the present instead of constant mental pressure. 13. Kindness creates inner happiness. The chapter also discusses kindness and compassion. Helping others, showing empathy, and treating people respectfully often create emotional satisfaction. The author explains that selfishness may create temporary pleasure, but kindness creates deeper fulfillment. Positive human connection improves emotional well-being for both the giver and receiver. 14. The mind needs rest and calmness. The chapter highlights the importance of mental rest. People constantly overload their minds with stress, noise, distractions, comparison, and pressure. The author encourages readers to create moments of silence, reflection, gratitude, and relaxation. A calm mind thinks more clearly and experiences greater peace. 15. Real wealth is a peaceful mind. Toward the end of the chapter, the author explains that true wealth is not only financial. Real wealth includes emotional peace, healthy relationships, meaningful experiences, self-respect, wisdom, and inner contentment. A person who has money but no peace often remains emotionally poor. The chapter encourages readers to build both external success and internal happiness together. Main message of Chapter 9. The central message of Chapter 9 is true happiness and success come from inner peace, gratitude, emotional balance, and meaningful relationships, not only from material achievement. The author teaches that comparison destroys peace, gratitude creates happiness, emotional balance creates strength, and inner fulfillment matters more than external image alone. People experience deeper satisfaction when they live with awareness, simplicity, and appreciation. Final conclusion. Chapter 9 of You Become What You Think teaches that real success is incomplete without peace of mind and emotional well-being. The chapter encourages readers to stop chasing happiness only through external achievement and instead develop gratitude, emotional balance, healthy relationships, and self-acceptance. The author explains that life becomes more meaningful when people appreciate the present, reduce negativity, value relationships, and maintain inner peace while pursuing success. The entire chapter can be summarized in one sentence. A truly successful life is one in which achievement is balanced with peace, gratitude, emotional stability, and meaningful human connection.